Not all spirit guides wear robes. Some wear wizard hats. Sometimes Jesus shows up. Sometimes it's a cosmic comedian. Let me show you what meeting a spirit guide can really feel like. And so these are words that I first wrote to my community, but some things are meant to live beyond the inbox. So I'm speaking them now for whoever needs them whenever they find you. And these stories were written with intention, each one a stepping stone, a moment meant to guide you back to something ancient and familiar. I wanted to take you on a journey of remembering, of reconnection, of realizing you've never really been alone. And when read together, I know they'll stir something even deeper within you. I wasn't expecting to meet someone new. I was in a group past life regression, not one I was guiding, but one that I was receiving. It had been a while since someone else had held space for me like that, so I was eager to sink in. We reached the part of the session where I was guided to meet a spirit guide. I assumed it would be someone familiar, a presence I've come to know, but it wasn't. At first, I saw a small figure, childlike, emerging from the trees. He had a sheet over his head, like a ghost costume. And as he stepped forward, the sheet fell away and he began to grow, taller and taller, until his face reached so high I couldn't even see it. And yet I wasn't afraid. There was something about him, his presence, his energy, that immediately settled me. He said his name was Akbar, and then, without fanfare or flourish, he extended his hand, open and steady. I stepped onto it, and as he lifted me, he said something simple. You are remembering. A wave of emotion washed over me. Tears filled my eyes, and I didn't even understand why I was crying. It was as if something in me had been waiting for that moment, and it finally arrived. It's hard to put into words what happened, because it wasn't just what he said, it was how it felt. Like exhaling after holding my breath for far too long. Like something heavy I didn't even realize I was carrying had been lifted. Like truth, not in the form of information, but in the form of relief. There had been a quiet doubt within me, a tension I hadn't wanted to name. And just like that, it softened. He told me that this life was a culmination of all my other lives, that I'm right where I'm meant to be. I didn't need more than that. That knowing settled into my bones. Later, I looked up the meaning of his name, and I'll tell you more about that soon. But let's just say it confirmed everything I felt. Sometimes the most powerful guidance doesn't come in vision or words. It comes in a moment, a shift, a sensation that moves through your body like returning light to a dimmed room. If you've ever longed to feel that kind of connection, here's a gentle practice that I love. Before you fall asleep tonight, ask your guides a question, something sincere, something real. Then allow yourself to receive. In dreams, in your body, in the quiet whispers of the day to come. If you try this tonight, let me know what happens. I'd love to hear what comes through for you. And so the next week, I looked up the meaning of his name, and it all made sense. Do you remember the guide I told you about last week? The one who stepped out of the trees, small and veiled, and then grew so tall I couldn't even see his face? His name was Akbar. The name Akbar means the greatest. It's wild, right? Because what he said to me during that session was that this life, my life, is the culmination of all the others I've lived. And while I don't take that lightly or egotistically, I do take it to heart. It hit me in a way that I didn't expect. These past few weeks have been filled with a quiet doubt, questions about the path I'm on, and whether the unseen is really there at all, even me. And suddenly, the pieces fell together in that poetic, mysterious way that the universe loves to do. The message, the moment, the meaning, so simple, so layered. This presence, this brief exchange, was exactly what I needed, and the reminder I didn't even know I was waiting for. And that's what I want you to know. If you've questioned too, your intuition, your connection, your path, you're not alone. We are human. We are divine. We forget and then we remember. That's the power of a single moment with a guide. A short meeting can bring clarity, emotion, remembering, or simply a quiet sense of rightness that lingers long after. And so not every guide looks or feels the same. Some show up with a single eye and a dry sense of humor. Funny, but true. Not every spirit guide shows up in flowing robes, radiant light, and speaking in riddles. Some are cyclops wizards. Yes, you heard me. I remember the first time I guided my brother to meet his guide. His first reaction was, "What the fuck is this?" The wizard robe, the one eye, the dry, sarcastic humor. It all felt a little too cartoonish. And when the guide said his name was Zenith, my brother wasn't sure what to make of it. He thought the whole thing was pretty cliche, but then something funny happened. The more he paid attention, the more he realized the wizard was exactly like him. Witty, a little irreverent, totally on brand. And from that moment, things changed. Since that day, my brother and Zenith have formed a bond. He checks in with him whenever he needs clarity or direction. Sometimes the messages are simple. Sometimes they're hilarious. But they're always exactly what he needs to hear. That's the thing about guides. They're not here to impress you. They're here to meet you, to reflect back something that you might have forgotten, to walk beside you in their own perfect way. You have a guide like that too. They might not look how you expect. They might not say what you think they should. But the connection, the clarity, the remembering, that part is real. Meeting your guide isn't just about one moment. It's the beginning of a relationship. Once you connect, even just for a few minutes, you'll know how to find them again. They'll be there when you need clarity, when you have a question, when you simply need to remember who you are. Whether your guide shows up glowing with wisdom or cracking jokes like a cyclops wizard, the connection is real, and the shift it creates can stay with you long after. And then something else arrived. A film, a feeling, and a flood of messages from the mini sessions that I had been guiding that week. A few nights ago, I watched If, the movie about forgotten imaginary friends, and I feel cracked open in the best way. It stirred something that had already been building in me all week, ever since I began offering the mini spirit guide sessions. There's this one scene that really tore me up. A grown man sits in a waiting room, anxious before a meeting. His childhood imaginary friend enters quietly and sits beside him. The man doesn't notice. But as he stands to go, the friend gently places a hand on his shoulder and says, "You've got this." And then something shifts. The man walks into the room different, like he felt the truth of it. That moment, subtle, unseen, sacred, that's what I've been witnessing all week. And the kind of things that happened, well, someone met Jesus, radiant, tender, unmistakably real. Someone else connected with a cosmic being who filled them with love and laughter. Another felt a warm and wordless energy, no name, no face. Some saw colors. Some saw nothing and still received. Almost everyone cried because something bigger than words is happening. Something remembered. They left feeling supported, connected to a presence that had always been there, quietly waiting for them to notice. And now I can't stop thinking, what if spirit guides and imaginary friends are the same thing? What if the magic we believed in as children, the ones who whispered to us, sat beside us at night, cheered us through fear, what if they never left? What if we just stopped listening? I've always told people guides will show up in whatever form you're most open to receiving. So maybe those childhood companions were something more. Maybe they showed up as unicorns or robots or sparkly best friends, not because they were made up, but because that's what our heart could say yes to. Maybe our guides came in the only form that we were ready to receive. Something our hearts could welcome in before the world taught us to say no. Because as children, we didn't need proof. We just knew. Imagination wasn't pretend. It was a doorway. And that connection, it's not gone. It's right here. And then there was this other scene in the movie. This little girl runs down the hallway of a hospital to see her dad, and lining the walls, waiting for her, are all the imaginary friends, beaming, holding space, and bearing witness. And I thought, what if it's like that for us too? What if the next time you walk into a hospital or a hard conversation or a brand new chapter in your life, you could remember that the hallway is lined with love, with support, with guidance you may not see but can feel if you let yourself? How would that change your experience? And who would it hurt to imagine? What would it cost you to pretend just for a moment that you're not walking alone? Because you're not. Your guide still with you, still waiting for you to pause, to let them in. So whether you had a session with me or not, the connection is still there. It's yours to explore, and it's more real than you think. You don't need to do it right. You just need to get quiet, to breathe, to imagine. Try this. Close your eyes. Ask. If someone has been walking with me my whole life, what might they want me to know today? Let whatever comes come. A word, a color, a warmth, a breeze. Even if it feels subtle, that's still connection. That's still real. You don't have to believe me. Just try believing yourself. You don't have to be a child to believe in magic. You don't have to remember an imaginary friend to know you're never alone. You just have to remember that believing is what lets it in. And maybe, just maybe, your imaginary friend was never imaginary at all.